Happy almost holidays. It's almost Thanksgiving. I'm Ronnie Lowe, life coach. The number one area around the holidays that prompts stress, whether it's an undercurrent or actual stressors, are the holiday family get-togethers. So yes, let's dig up the joy and the good parts about the holidays. We love the holidays. We love our families for the most part. Now, most of us love our families. We love our immediate families. We love our extended families, the adopted families. Yes, yes, yes. All of the good stuff. And that's just it. We know we love them. We know we love the get-togethers. We want to take part in it and participate. And yet, why are the family get-togethers over the holidays the number one source of stress? Over money, over fitness, over food, over all that. Survey after survey, year after year, it's the biggest thing. Money is right up there. Even if you're doing well, you're doing fine, you got a job, whatever, money is big. We talked about that last week. The number one for everybody, no matter what kind of family you have, whether you're single, whether you have a partner and no children, or you have children, the holiday family get together is the number one source of stress. So I am coaching people not on all the stories and the boundaries and the what causes you to be stressed, but the actual ping of that stress. Not my uncle asked me every single year, and he's going to ask me again, when am I going to go back and do that in my career? When am I ever going to get remarried? No. Or why do I always fall back into being that 2-year-old? No, I'm not talking about that is the cause. I'm talking about that thought, that immediate thought that has you either the undercurrent of stress or that stress at the event or before you go. You're dreading it. So I'm talking about what prompts or evoke that feeling of stress. Okay. So let's go beyond but I am grateful. Yes, I love shopping. Yes, I love the social part, everything you love. Yay. And yet most people say they feel stressed. So all the great parts, yay. But that is also why a lot of us, and I heard it last night, well, I feel guilty. I feel guilty because I do like getting together with them. I do like the tree. I do like the BYOB. I do love whatever. The guilt is really not guilt, but that's up to you to look at, because if you like to look at it, if you're guilty of something, it was either illegal or immoral. Whatever is against your core values, and you can match up and align your core values with society, with your community, with your religion, but whatever your core values are, if they strike those values, then of course it's against your values, which I say is immoral, against your morality. So are you really guilty about, well, I am stressed, and admitting it and wanting to work through it? You're not complaining about your family. So this guilt about, but I don't want to complain. I have it good. I have a good family. They love me. No guilt. It's just a fact. You feel stressed. So all the good parts aside, let's put that aside. Okay. Let's get negative. Think of something that stresses you out. I'm not going to take you through a whole coaching session here, but I will tell you, as a gift for the holidays, I would love to get together with you and give you one audit. I call it your stressor audit of what is making you stressed. Not everything, not all the scenarios, but the overall, or the one thing or one impactful thing. We work on what stresses you about those holiday family gatherings. And not just something big like travel. What about traveling? Your thought. Take you through ThoughtWork so you see what I'm talking about and how it works on each one of my clients that goes through this. I have to practice ThoughtWork. So let's say you think, because no matter what, the family, no matter how evolved you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how well you're doing, no matter how much your family loves you and you love them, we fall back into those roles. We fall back into those roles because they're known to us, and it's what our brain knows, and it's what their brains know. So I'm not here to talk about setting boundaries or just bracing yourself, or just all the joyful stuff covers that, or you go into denial. I wrote it in one of my emails. La, 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 la. I'm just going to forget about it. No, things add up, they build up, and they cause you to stress. So that thought about whatever caused you at that moment, he did it again, the dog's out, whatever that situation, that event, that incident, or whatever somebody said, or the insinuations, or the teasing, or the bragging, whatever it is, we take that and we look at your thought. Why do you think that person, or what do you think of that situation? Why do you think that? And it always comes back to yourself, something about yourself, not a judgment on somebody else. But it could be a judgment on somebody else, but it always comes back to whatever you judge or you opine, your opinion about that person always comes back to, well, based on what? On your perspective, on your opinion, on your, like I said, view, your judgment. And that's on you. That's your thought. So we take this thought and we replace it. We exchange it, like the gift exchange. We exchange it with something factual. You have proof, you have evidence that changes your feeling, your emotion about it, whether it's anxiety or frustration or anger, just a little peeved, nervous, worry, sad, whatever it is. We exchange it with something factual. And I'd like you to see what I mean by that. By you sitting with me, eyeballs to eyeballs, heart to heart, vulnerable, and you bring me whatever it is, and we work through one case scenario. So you feel what I witnessed with my clients. I mean, what I saw last night and what I went through this morning with a client had nothing to do with the family gatherings, but it did have to do with family and their stress levels. Whew, they saw that ping, as I call it, that thought, exchange the thought. And one client was really resistant because she was really rooted to her opinion about something that had to do ultimately with herself, not her judgment of somebody else. Even though it all started with, my mom's going to say this, and she started mimicking her mom, loves her mom dearly, but she expected her mom to react this way. Anyway, we went through it, changed her thought about it, and it really did de-stress her and set her up for a much better, true, genuine, stress-free get-together. This is not the let's meditate, let's do breath work, let's journal, let's talk about it like you do in therapy. It's not all that. Those are tools. This is the actual change the thought. It's an action. It's a process. The thought work is an action. You think about what did I think of about that, or about what she said, or about what happened, what I think will happen, what always happens. What is my thought? We work with the thought, exchange it to something that neutralizes it, because steps. It could be, you consider a progression, or it evolves or it develops. So things get better. You don't have to go from like here to, but it's great. No, it can be something factual that your brain will accept. Well, that's a fact. Our brains are computers. When you give it a fact, for example, this has nothing to do with the family holiday gathering, the holiday family gathering, but it's something that I saw today. Somebody thought she just did not do well enough in a class. Well, why? It all boiled down to, fast forward, I'm not going to take you through the whole session, because she used to be better at it, at this class she was taking. Well, what did your teacher say? Well, she just thinks I'm wonderful. No. Did she say you're wonderful? Well, no, actually, she said I'm progressing. And I asked my client, what is the proof of that progression? Scientifically, objectively. If we're all looking through this glass and we're looking at this, where do we see that progression? She started naming the progression of exactly what she did technically that made her better in this class she was taking. It's a physical thing. It's playing a musical instrument. I didn't understand what she was talking about, but she did, as far as playing the musical instrument and music theory and all that, and the actual technique and execution of it. But I got it. And so it went from, well, why are you so down on your progression of it? Because I used to be so much better. This woman took a pause from playing this musical instrument years. So it went from the thought of, what did she say? Oh, it's horrible. It's really bad. I'm awful. No, I remember. I'm lame. I'm just lame. It went from I'm lame to many people, or was it musical professionals? Many artists who take a pause have to retrain. That's just a fact because she thought of people that have taken pauses and they have to retrain. And that's just a fact. And that made her feel good. Her thought of many artists, many musicians that pause must retrain. And that's not bad. That's not good. It just is. So it's not a bad thing like, oh, they have to retrain. No, it just is. Like an athlete, if they stop for a while, then you have to pick up the game and re-strengthen and rework your moves. Or let's say they were injured, physical therapy and the mental therapy and the whole thing, the mindset. You have to retrain and grow back up there. If something's stymied for a while, you have to build it back up. I remember when I hurt my arm one time, I could not work with my right arm for 3 months. 3 months. My left arm and my left side got stronger because I couldn't work my back, my shoulder, my chest as much with my right side because you use your arm. So anyway, my whole point is you have to re-strengthen. She went from a neutral thought that made her feel good because it was neutral and factual and not like, yay, I'm going to be better, or my teacher says I'm good. And yeah, I know, I can do it. None of that, because she still felt lame. What neutralized it for her was many professionals. That's just a fact. Many artists have to retrain after taking a pause. Anyway, we worked through and through and through. She felt no stress at the end. No stress. I mean, like, whew, because she had been, actually, she wasn't really working through stress. She was working through frustration. She felt no frustration. Really, it just let it out. No frustration. As it turns out, she's kind of in a hurry to get better fast. And that's a whole other thing because of expectations and obligations, what's expected of her, her thought of what's expected of her, not from herself, but her thought of what is expected of her because she was better. So we worked through that expectation. Let's take it back to the holidays. Most of the time, if you think about it, think about what makes you stressed or frustrated or sad or fearful or annoyed about the pre-family gathering and about the family gathering. Think about it. If you feel guilty because you love your family and you like to take part, you like to participate, and you shouldn't think negatively of the holidays because you have a lot to be grateful for and you're doing well. And at least you've got family and all this stuff that makes you feel guilty. It's not guilt. It's back to what I was saying. When you think about what guilt is factually, it's something that you did, or guilt. That's why there's a guilty verdict. You did it or you didn't. Not no contest in this. It's guilt for something illegal or immoral. Okay. So it's not guilt. It's that we feel a sense of what's expected of us, because feeling stressed over it is not illegal and it's not immoral. It just is. Well, why are you stressed? You're stressed because it's something that's expected of us, of you, or it's an obligation. You're obliged to have fun. You're obliged to take part, even if you don't want to be there with a certain cousin or aunt or whatever. You're obligated to spend enough time with one family member or one family unit and before you visit the other family, the group. Okay. So it's obligations and it's expectations, not just of yourself, but if you put it on yourself, you that's because you think they expect it. So we change your thought, which changes your feelings. And at first it could just be neutral. It could be less, or it could actually make you happy and giggly. But the stress evaporates. Somebody asked me today, I was interviewed for a podcast, and the host, James, asked me, well, Ronnie, what do you like about coaching? I almost said what's true, that it's fulfilling, but I didn't, because I had just coached 2 people yesterday, one this morning. And the first thing I thought of was because I see them win, I see them progress, I see the progression. That might be selfish, but I love that. I love cheering with them, not cheering you on, not coaxing you, but the very fact that you're coaxing you and you witness the progression. So that may be a little selfish because Your result is my result. But the bottom line is I take joy in, oh my gosh, look at that progression. I don't say it, it's, oh my gosh, when you, the client, witnesses that progression in your career growth, in your career change. I have some clients working on transitioning this coming year, 2023, in their careers, their vocations. One is working on a relationship, and oh my God, the breakthrough yesterday. Her and her husband really progressed on something that has been boiling over for 8 years. So when I see whatever it is you're working on, what you're achieving and the milestones, that's why I like coaching. I mean, it just came out, it's like, because I see them progress. And I am with you symbiotically. I am with you parallel in that joy. I love seeing that joy and that progression. So I invite you to see how ThoughtWork works. I didn't make it up. I didn't create it. I follow it. I learned it. I learned that medium of coaching. You know, we identify what's stressing you. We optimize the neutral thought. We optimize your strengths and the facts that are true for you so you can change your perspective of whatever is causing you that feeling, that emotion. And when you change that perspective, biologically, chemically, you disperse that stress. It just is so. And I would like you to experience that. So my holiday gift is to get with me. I mean, how much longer are you going to deal with it? Why not give it a try? You have the opportunity here to voice your stress, get a stress audit, is that what I'm calling it? Voice your stress, one thing, that under thing, maybe you don't know what's stressing you, we bring that out. And then you see how this thought work works, how I work with you. That is my gift to you. One good session, one good audit, we'll call it. Okay. So this is your opportunity to bring this to me, see how you feel, and see how this works before Thanksgiving. So you preempt a lot of it. So you prevent and you diminish what's stressing you, what's causing that undercurrent, or what's causing you to be stressed over, even though you love your family, you love all the traditions, and you want to participate. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about the stress. Let's de-stress so you can be free, genuinely free. No stress. What replaces stress is joy. It's ease. It's calmness. So you can fill all that up yourself, your mind, your body, because stress is in the body, stress is in the mind, it's in the psyche, it's in your dreams. You wake up worrying. It frees you up and allows joy, peace, ease to come in for you to genuinely enjoy that holiday family gathering, those get-togethers, the appointments and the traditions, we'll call it, not the obligations. And there are obligations, but there's nothing wrong with obligation. If you think obligation is negative, then we think with that, we work on that thought. The good, if you redefine obligation, yay, I've got somewhere to be obligated. I love that. So anyway, and it's not Pollyanna, let's look for the silver lining. It really is changing your thought to what is factual for you and is real for you. And you're like, okay, that's true. You work with me so you feel free to genuinely enjoy those family gatherings during the holiday. Let's start with Thanksgiving. And genuinely deep down, be at ease and at peace and at glee and whatever you want your holiday to be, to enjoy the season and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. That's not selfish. That's self-love. And you can love everybody else in the holiday. Okay, get a hold of me. I'm here for you.